This is the final case in regards to BCG and their gender equity policies. It is presented by
Michael Stout,
Nick Milich,
and Christina Maraki. BCG, a large consulting company, had the ability to build a company culture that accepts the benefits of a diverse workforce. Unfortunately, this wasn't always the case, and they had struggled to maintain gender diversity at managerial and leadership levels. Some of these issues were derived from fathers being ostracized from being caretakers, job discrimination with a masculine undertone, and masculine communication methods. 10 years later, due to commitment from the CEO, BCG has been able to eliminate this gap and now prioritizes diversity as a core value. Despite their successful efforts, there always remains space to grow because promoting a culture of equity requires continuous learning and an ongoing commitment to these goals. The gender-related issues we face in the workplace today are now more apparent to the public than ever before, largely due to the Me Too movement that became popular on social media and news outlets. Some issues that have been highlighted are things like unequal pay between men and women and the lack of women in executive leadership positions. The gender-related issues we face in the workplace are symptoms of deep power dynamics. Society has set roles, behaviors, and attitudes and norms that are considered appropriate for men and women, but these turn out to be the cause and consequences of power relations. Gender discrimination can also be unintentionally reinforced through institutional policies and practices. This is because individuals may be unaware how their actions or policies are reinforcing these gender norms due to an unconscious bias. This results in rewarding men more than women and punishing men or women for not conforming to these social standards. There are many benefits of gender equity for both organizations and individuals, including men and women. Having a diverse organization means having a varied set of opinions, backgrounds, and experiences to have been brought to the table, which would increase profits in the long run, while also reducing the number of harassment incidents that occur in the workplace. Today, BCG is a leader when it comes to executing progressive gender equitable policies and procedures. BCG is now a company that others can look to for guidance in enhancing gender equity in the workplace and reducing gender-related issues from occurring.
So the first issue that we identified was fathers being ostracized from being caretakers. So today, women are still most associated with being the caretakers of the family, and this has made it so women spend a lot more time with their families and kids instead of being at the workplace. On the other hand, fathers have been classified negatively when men are associated with caretaking, and this results in a stereotype of a lack of masculinity. And the stereotype of a lack of masculinity is because women are associated with being the main caretakers, and they have been for a long time. These are cultural norms, these are Western norms, but times are changing. As a result of women not being in the workplace as much, they miss very important business meetings late in the day, leading to a lack of knowledge. So men have an advantage over women in regards to the knowledge of the day-to-day company, and this breeds more power for men over time due to women not being able to be there for important meetings. And a lot of the important meetings are during the afternoon, and a lot of women have to go home for work early and take care of their family. So issue 2, job discrimination with a masculine undertone. So we identified at the top of the major companies today, leadership roles are more time than not filled by men. So this, as a result of this, men have the majority of the leadership roles, and words like superior, aggressive can leave women feeling like it's not the job for them. So the point is, a lot of the job descriptions today in today's society have these masculine undertones and these descriptions, and they drive a lot of women away because they think that this is not the job for them, and it'll lead to a higher concentration of high-paying jobs for men instead of women, because a lot of these jobs with these masculine undertones and descriptions are some of the more high-paying jobs. So issue 3, masculine communication methods. women will often become frustrated by the narrowness of the male counterpart's advice, and this is in regards to how men perceive, how women communicate. Men will often advise women that they need to be, more assertive and stronger and more forceful, but that is not, the communication methods that women, strive for. Men will often suggest that women are not assertive enough, or that they will, not be aggressive in their tactics. Women will be punished for attempting to display masculine communication. And this is not only are they being ostracized for, not being masculine enough. Even when they are masculine, they will often be pushed away in the companies and, accused of being difficult or so on.
In terms of recommendations, for issue 1 of fathers being ostracized as caregivers, we decided that having meetings set earlier in the day will help with the unwillingness of employees to take leave. By having them earlier in the day, parents can leave during the second half of the day to take care of their kids. Furthermore, in the long term, men should be allowed to take the full 16 weeks of paternity leave that women are allotted, and should be forced to take at least 2 weeks of paternity leave. This will help overcome the gender inequality between men and women, as well as help overcome the stigma attached to men taking paternity leave. Issue 2, for the short term, we would like to see BCG rewrite job descriptions to fit with gender-neutral terminology. This will help destroy the last remaining gender barrier at BCG, as they have already offered trained interviewers in the interviewing process. And for the long term, they should restructure their company retreats to be gender inclusive. It is our experience through our time in the workforce that many companies don't realize their retreats are unappealing to one gender. This leads to one gender spending most of the time hating the retreat rather than engaging in the activities. By changing the retreats, both genders can fully focus on the retreat. Finally, for the issue regarding communication methods in the short term, we said that BCG should establish safe spaces in the office for communication about issues. This will allow productive mediated communication to occur without judgment. And for the long term, we recommended that BCG should incorporate a standard of communication throughout the company into its culture. By doing this, they can eliminate judgment based on individuals' communication disposition.
All right, everyone, thanks for watching, and I appreciate it. And that was our presentation for the final case.
We hope you have gained a higher insight into the issues BCG is plagued with.